Welcome to AuthAction channel. In this video, I'm going to show how to integrate AuthAction in your GLPI ticketing system. So GLPI, you can integrate OAuth2 login flow so that you can able to integrate as a AuthAction as a identity provider, and then you can able to log in via your social logins, or else you can do passkey authentication in your GLPI system. So you can in GLPI you can host it in your own server, or maybe in the cloud or a private cloud. It all works. So for a demo purpose, I created this GLPI public cloud instance. So I'm going to log in your in my admin account and then configure AuthAction login. So by default, I have this admin credential and logging into the admin account, and then I have a setup tab. So here we see a lot of different options. So in plugins, you can see there are a lot of plugins available. There is one we are looking for is like Auth SSO, OAuth SSO actually. So this is the plugin we need. This is the plugin we need in order to integrate OpenID Connect authentication using AuthAction. So I already added added that plugin into my account. So I'm going to install that one, and then I'm going to enable that one. Okay, now the OAuth SSO plugin is enabled. Now I can see there is an option here, OAuth SSO applications. So inside that there is no application right now. I'm going to create one, and I'm going to name it as AuthAction, and then this will provide OpenID Connect login. So I choose this one, and then in the icon on the login page you can choose different icon. I will go with this default one, and then active I'm enabling to yes, and then I'm adding, and then it shows like OpenID Connect discovery URL is missing or invalid. So we need to configure all this stuff like client ID, client secret, and OpenID Connect URL. So by default my browser configuring this information, but it should come from the AuthAction application details. So if we go to the AuthAction, so we provide three different applications types. So this one is a front-end application using OAuth flow. So I'm going to create GLPI demo app, and then the application is created, and then you can see some configuration, domain and client ID, client secret, and so on. So the client ID we need, and then we copy it here and then configuring here, and similarly client secret I'm configuring here, and then field used as login email address, and we are going to use and fetch information from the user profile also. I'm going to set as yes, and then there is a callback URL. So once user is authenticated, it will redirect back to your GLPI instance URL. So this one we need to configure in the AuthAction dashboard as a callback URL. So if you go to the application settings page, and then you see there is a allowed callback URL. So we need to configure that one from GLPI instance, and then save that configuration. Yeah, all done. And one more thing is pending is like OpenID Connect discovery URL. So if you go to the AuthAction documentation page, and then you can see OpenID Connect endpoints documentation, and then you see there is a OIDC discovery document URL. That is what we need to configure here, discovery URL, and then it's based on tenant name and .region.authaction.com, and then will node OpenID configuration. So you can copy this one and then put it in this box, and then you need to give your tenant name and region. If you go to the your dashboard, and then you see there is a tenant name and then a region mentioned here. You can also see it in this domain flag. So for this one, then tenant name is demo user. It will be different for you, and based on your tenant name, and then region is EU, and then I'm going to enable this debug information just for make sure, and then I'm saving this one, and then it shows like OpenID connect discovery URL is correct, and then fetched signature keys, that is also done, so it works as expected. Now I am going to log out and see there is a option to log in via AuthAction. So I'm going to log out, and then before that I'll see the AuthAction external identity provider option here, and then in this app I see the login page. Login page does not have any connection, so I'm going to enable email password, and then I'm going to enable Google login, and yeah. So now if I click the AuthAction button, from here it will redirect to AuthAction login page, hosted login page, that will looks exactly like this. If you go to click the try hosted login, so it will based on your tenant business name, and then based on your configuration your login page will look like similar to like this. So this is your demo page. And similarly, if you configured properly in GLPI system, when you click that AuthAction button, so it will redirected to your hosted login page. So I'm going to sign up on new account and then see it works. I'm also going to set up my passkey here for this account. Later I will show how to do it, passkey authentication for login flow. And then the user is created, and then it goes to the ticketing pay dashboard, and then I can see that email is correct, test5@example.com. So if I refresh multiple times, still I am in the session. So even if I close this tab and then open it again with the URL, or else I go to the same domain, so I'm still redirect back to the logged in user session. So that works properly. Now I'm going to log out and then go to admin page, admin account, and then I'm going to check my users details here. So I created a bunch of accounts for previous testing. So here I can see test5example.com, that is active, the created recently. Now I'm going to show you one more information, like for this GLPI application. So during the logout, it should during the logout, the actual receiver application need to propagate logout to identity provider AuthAction, but this is open source application. The code is maintained by the open source team, and then so we can't able to change the code or propagate the logout during the logout option. So even if I log out here and then I'm going to log in via AuthAction, it is not showing us a login page. It goes back to the user dashboard, so it's not logging out properly. So this is where we need to use this enable non-persistent session. So what is the use of this one is like it will be useful for the when the client app manages his own session and does not propagate the logout. So every time user comes to AuthAction for authorization request, it will show the login page. So currently it's disabled. It will by default it will disable for all application. For in order to work in order to integrate authentication in GLPI, you need to enable this option. And then if I log out and then I'm trying to log in again with the same user, I need to save the application actually. So I enabled here and didn't save it. So application setting is properly saved. Now if I log out and then I go back to the action login page, it shows like so. If now I'm going to log in again with the same user with passkey authentication. So this time I'm not going to use password, so I'm going to use passkey. So I already added a passkey for test 3 and test 5, so I'm going to use test 5, and then it will authenticate using passkey, my finger touch ID, and then it's redirect back to the GLPI ticketing system. So if I log out again, it will log out properly. If I click it login, so it goes to the login page properly. So the one thing we need to take care about enabling non-persistent session. This option you need to enable for GLPI apps. So other than that, everything is, because during the logout GLPI application does not propagate the logout in a use case to AuthAction. That's why you need to use this enable non-persistent session option. Now it works fine. So now if I go back to my admin credential, I can see on what application is configured, and then I can see users informations in this tab. So you can also this will also work for login via Google option as well, because this application has a connection of Google as well. So I will also show demo about how to log in via Google. So the external identity provider is AuthAction. When clicking, so you can see email and login via Google option. So I'm going to Google, use Google option, and then use some demo account. So I able to access GLPI ticketing system using my login via Google option that works via AuthAction hosted login page. So even if I refresh multiple times or close and open this one, still the user session passes. That works properly. And then if I log out and then go to admin dashboard, and then I check the user details from the administration dashboard, and the new user will be created. See this one, this is the account I used on to log in, so that account also created. So you can able to configure multiple identity provider, multiple social logins based on your use case, login via Google and other options and so on. So it's very easy and straightforward. And then for login page, you can also configure change your logo. In the login page, you can also change your business name and logo from the settings tab. So you can change the business name here, and then you can change your logo based on your use case, and then it will show exactly how you configure. Thanks. Happy coding.